Hi, welcome to the show. On my channel, my main topic is teaching people and encouraging people to use both hands equally. So if you're right hand, you should start learning how to use your left hand. And if you're left-handed, start learning how to use your right hand. And I encourage you to start playing guitar. If it's possible, try to get two guitars, a left-handed guitar and a right-handed guitar, and try to learn how to play both of them. The main reason I encourage you to do activities like playing guitar with both hands, or maybe playing sports, shoot the basketball with both hands, throw a football, write, draw. The main reason I'm encouraging people to become ambidextrous is to actually strengthen both sides of your body. So, in my first book, Humans Are Amazing, Discovering Your True Self, I explained that we have a duality to our body. We have almost two of everything in our body. So it doesn't make sense that you're only using half of your body. So that's why it's called Discovering Your True Self, because your true self is that you actually have two sides to yourself, and that you should be using both of those sides. So in my book, I put diagrams of the organs within our body, which come in pairs as well. Well, we have many pairs in our body, like our eyes, our ears, our arms, hands, fingers, you name it. Outside of our body we have so much, but inside our body we also have these pairs as well, such as our lungs, our kidneys, and our reproductive organs. We have 11 systems, and those systems branch out to our entire body, which are like muscular, skeletal, lymphatic, endocrine, many different systems. So if we're actually using both hands, we are strengthening all the systems in our body. So that's my first book. I encourage people to play sports. I talk about the balance of your body. Like if you're standing on one foot and you're standing on your other foot, you need to strengthen your entire body. So, like let's say you fell down on your left arm. If your left arm is not strong and you try to support your entire body on your left arm, you're probably going to break your arm. But if you're strong with this arm from doing many activities, and it's almost the same, or hopefully you can make it as strong as your dominant hand, if you fell down, you would most likely be able to support yourself and probably even gain your balance, or maybe you won't even fall. As I explained in my first book, that your body is like a scale. So when you tilt this way, the muscles in this side of your body, or vice versa, they're supporting each side. So you have to strengthen both sides of your body in order for you to improve your physical balance. So besides that, you also have your organs within your body. And I recently wrote a second book, which is Becoming Ambidextrous, The Doorway to the Mind of God. The reason why I call this book The Doorway to the Mind of God is because I started noticing that everything in the world also has opposites. Like I'm encouraging the same information, which is to strengthen both sides of your body, but I also made many more observations, such as everything in the world has an opposite. So today I'd like to discuss the opposite of the human heart. So let me go ahead and do a diagram of the human heart. So the human heart is it's really like a heart shape. It really is. That's why I guess they always draw the heart like that. In reality, your heart is actually kind of tilted this way. That's why your heart is mostly lying on the left side of your chest. It's not straight like this. It's actually at an angle. I'm just drawing it straight so I can go ahead and demonstrate how it's symmetrical like the rest of your body. Your hands, your eyes, your brain, everything seems to be symmetrical, which is like a mirror opposite of itself. We're like two in one, two opposites in one. Okay, so the heart is the same thing, has symmetrical opposites. Now here's what I'm going to describe the opposite part. So, you know, in your the blood vessels in your body, you have arteries and you have veins. Those are the blood vessels in your body. What's the difference between arteries and veins? And the difference is they're actually opposites. So the arteries, well, I'll start with the veins. The veins, they're returning empty blood. Blood that's delivered its nutrients like oxygen and all the other nutrients that the blood cells carry to your body. When they deliver all of the nutrients, they return back to your heart. Because your blood cells, I believe they last for like 3 months. Okay, so these blood cells keep cycling and their job is to pick up nutrients, deliver nutrients. Return empty, pick up nutrients, deliver nutrients. It's a cycle. So the left side of your heart, which actually the right side of your heart, has the veins connected to it. The veins are connected to the right side of your heart. So this is like vena cava, that's the main vein that's connected to your heart. So that's the veins, which is veins are empty. I'll put it right here. Your veins are empty. Okay? And so now I'll do the arteries. The arteries, and that's the aorta. Have you heard of the aorta? That's like the main artery that delivers the, that is exiting the heart. Main artery exiting the heart. So what happens is, so we're going to say here, the arteries. Arteries are full. Okay? Your arteries are full and the veins are empty. That's opposite. Artery right there, you can see the symmetry and the duality that the heart consists of. Everything in our bodies like that. Like I mentioned, you know, if you're going to throw a ball, I believe this side and your leg, the side of your body and your leg is, you know, supporting your body. And the same thing if you're going to throw the ball with the other side. We have this duality of systems, muscles, everything that is occurring in our body. That's why it's important to use both hands. So, arteries are full. What happens is, as I mentioned, the blood returns to your heart. Okay? And when it returns to your heart, it enters through the vein empty. So that's the atrium. So there's like, even you could divide it into like 4. I'll use the back marker. You could divide it into 4 because it has 4 chambers. 4 chambers. So these are the atrium, ventricles. So the blood returns empty through the veins into the atrium, the right atrium. After it goes in there, there's like doors open here, and then it goes into the ventricle. The ventricle, the heart's so crazy. It's doing so many things at one time with just the bump, with the lub dub. When it beats, it contracts. So when it contracts, it receives blood into this pocket. When it, well, after it contracts, so it's entering here. When it contracts, it gets shot into your lungs. So the empty blood enters your atrium, then it goes to the ventricle. When it contracts, it shoots it into your lungs so that your blood cells can be oxygenated. After your blood cells are oxygenated in the lungs, I'll draw the lungs in the background. You know, your lungs are kind of like, they're like here, I'll just draw like that. Your lungs are, okay? So it gets shot, the empty blood cells get shot into your lungs where they're oxygenated, they pick up hemoglobin. Okay, and after they come, after they're oxygenated in the lungs, then this oxygenated blood returns to the left side of the heart, and it comes in here, and after it contracts again, then it's shot up. It's shot outside of your body through the arteries. It's shot out of your body through the arteries. So what your heart is actually doing, it's working, this other marker, it's working like a figure eight. Your heart's working like a figure eight. Because it enters empty, it goes into your lungs, it comes back, and it's shot out. So it's working like, your heart is working like a figure eight. It's cycling your blood. The same blood cells that last for about 3 months. So I'm describing here that even your heart has this opposite symmetry, which is very, very surprising. Very surprising that you have a symmetry, this opposite symmetry, and I believe all of your systems probably have this, but it's more, it's much more apparent with the heart. Because if you've ever heard of veins and arteries, you might say, like, what's the difference? Well, those are blood vessels that traverse our entire body. Veins and arteries, they are found in our entire body. And that's how the cells are delivered. It's like the highways for the cell, for these cells to deliver the nutrients to our muscles and organs. So the blood goes out of the arteries full. It comes out of the arteries full. You know, it spreads to all the different parts of your body. And after they are empty, these arteries connect back to the veins. So your arteries connect to your veins in these capillary beds. These are just small blood vessels. And they're small arteries connecting to small veins. So these cells, they deliver everything. They go into these small little capillary beds. And then they go from the artery. Then they go into the veins. And the veins bring back your empty blood cells back to the heart. That's why you have all these blood veins as well. The veins are returning all these blood cells, empty blood cells, back to the heart, where it's going to be pumped again back into the lungs, oxygenated, and then returned back into the left side of the heart, where it's then pumped out through the arteries. So that is a fine example of how your body's working, how organs, how we have this duality, why we should actually use both sides of our body. You know, like most people have a heart attack. That's a common cause of death. It's cardiac arrest. Your heart just gives out because your heart is a muscle, cardiac muscle. I believe if you're using both hands, strengthening your body, you're going to strengthen your heart as well, because everything in your body is connected. It's this one gigantic system, complex, composed of 11 other systems. So it only makes sense that you should use both hands equally. And as I described through this example here, that almost everything in the world works by having two opposites. Like a man and a woman, they produce children. The sun and the moon, they cycle as well. The sun gives its light rays, and then the moon comes and cools everything down. The same thing can be said of an atom. All things are composed of atoms. So an atom itself has a positive proton and a negative electron. Even an atom has this duality. I put all this stuff in my book. This book, I'm so proud of this book. To me, it's like, that's why I call it the doorway to the mind of God. I really believe that this information is going to help human beings progress further than we have throughout history. The reason being, we'll become stronger. You know, most people, like I mentioned, they die of cardiac arrest because I believe they're only using half of their body and one side is much stronger, which doesn't make sense. You're doing everything with one side when you should be alternating, and you're not really burning yourself out. You're not tiring yourself out so much with only one hand. You can alternate. You have option. It's like having a spare tire. But I also want to point out too that many people have a stroke. When you have a stroke, half of your body is like paralyzed. Why would that be? Why would half of your body become paralyzed? I believe it's because you're in fact only using one half of your body. So, you know, the arteries in your head, there's many, you know, that's common cause of a stroke is a ruptured artery in your brain. So it affects your nervous system because your brain controls all your peripheral nerves and as well as your central nervous system. So everything's connected. If you strengthen your body, hopefully you won't, it'll take longer to succumb to a heart attack, and hopefully you won't have stroke. You know, it'll be much more difficult to have a stroke. So this is some of the information in my book. There's way more information. As I explained, there's DNA. I talk about atoms. There's so much information in my books. So try to use both hands equally. Strengthen your hand. I know it may be difficult at first, but practice, and practice makes perfect. Rome wasn't built in a day. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Also leave me a comment down below of what you think of what I'm talking about. Have you ever used your left hand, right hand, you know, your non-dominant hand? And also what I'm talking about here with the duality that's found in almost everything in the world. Like why do things operate that way? I'll just look at another one of my topics. I talk about molecules. Yeah, even in your reproductive organs. My book has so much great stuff in it. The solar system, time, there's a duality to time, such as the past and the future. Those are opposites. I explain all these things. The seasons, like, okay, here's another one, hot and cold. There's only two temperatures that exist in this world, hot and cold. And from those temperatures, they create about different temperatures. You know, the sun and the moon, and you got all these like the seasons. But check out my books. Keep watching my videos if you like them, and I hope you do. And I encourage you again, start using both hands and let me know what you think. And I hope you're doing great. Thanks for watching my video.